Have you ever paused to consider how many silent voices echo inside you? Have you wondered if the fears gripping your heart are truly yours, or if they were passed down from restless spirits who never found peace? Imagine if I revealed that, despite your belief in your own mastery, an ancient, unseen force molds every choice you make. As long as the unconscious remains hidden, it steers your path, and you'll mistake it for destiny. No matter how logical, accomplished, or awakened you believe yourself to be, beneath every action, urge, or hesitation lies a vibrant maze-a-tangle of unexamined anxieties and buried longings. This maze observes you, quietly ridiculing your false sense of command. You stride forward with confidence, convinced you understand who you are. Yet deep within, an ancient presence, rests a colossal symbol of all you've concealed, the parts of yourself you muted to conform. This isn't a beast to fear. It's your shadow, crafted from emotions you refused to embrace and sacrifices you made to gain approval. Today, you're beckoned not to banish it but to gaze upon it, to step through the mirror you've always dodged. Within that reflection lies not only dread, but also strength. The faint murmur you sense in moments of quiet doesn't demand transformation, it urges you to recall, to reclaim the fragments of yourself you've hidden. The fury, the softness, the imagination, the sorrow, the inner child, the fighter, the dreamer. This isn't about becoming someone new, it's about becoming complete. True liberation doesn't mean eradicating fear, but making choices free from its grip, living with a heart unbarred, without hiding, fleeing, or pretending. It's about ceasing to merely endure and beginning to truly exist. A wise thinker once said, "The cruelest cage is the one invisible to all." That's precisely where you reside. Examine your daily life. How many decisions are genuinely yours? How many fears were inherited from voices long gone? How many relationships have you undermined because your mind convinced you you're unworthy of love? You're not the one in charge. Your unconscious pulls the threads while you labor, grin, embrace, and make vows. Something behind your eyes moves your hands as if you're a marionette. It's a ravenous phantom, thriving on all you've suppressed to fit in on the cries, stifled in youth, the shame buried in your teens, the desires you killed for the sake of propriety. This phantom, named the shadow by that same thinker, requires you to face the stark reality. You are not the person you believe yourself to be. The image you project to the world, the one who meets deadlines, beams and photos, is merely a facade, a societal mask concealing a raw, untamed landscape within. In that hidden realm dwell your anger, your envy, your naive pride, and even fantasies you're too ashamed to acknowledge. This is why you repeat patterns, cling to pain, and trip over the same errors. The script isn't written in your conscious mind, but etched in the shadows. Many shy away from this truth. It's simpler to point fingers at fate, family, society, or even the divine. It's easier to claim, "This is just who I am," even if that identity is a poorly practiced performance. Peel back the surface, and chaos emerges. Deep down, you sense it, which is why you flee, why you drown yourself in distractions, why silence terrifies you more than clamor. That thinker understood this fear. He knew confronting the beast requires the bravery of someone willing to perish unknown rather than be reborn through inner upheaval. Do you believe you govern your outbursts, your impulses, your guilt? You don't. These forces are older than your lineage, ancient, residing in the collective unconscious that pulses through us all. To ignore this is to wander through life asleep. A sleeper doesn't choose, they merely repeat, believing they're free while labeling as fate what is really mental conditioning. Reflect on your choices. How many would you make if you didn't need to please others, if you weren't afraid of loss, if you didn't carry the childhood wound of rejection like a secret scar? Take a breath, feel the tightness in your chest. That's your mind trying to silence this truth, but it's too late. Once heard, this truth smolders within, unshaken by stacks of self-help books. It lingers and grows. That thinker didn't aim to comfort you. He sought to split you open so light could seep through the fissures. He wanted you to see that behind the mask lies torment, but also the key to liberation. Accepting this is the first step. It's unlocking the cellar door, inhaling the musty air of the parts of yourself you buried in shame. It may sting, it will sting, but there's no other escape. You're not who you think you are. You're far uglier, far more radiant, far freer, if you dare confront it. Inhale deeply, look around. Everything chaining you is within, and so is the key to your release. You tell yourself you're virtuous, refined, sensible, courteous, but beneath it all, you know that's not the whole story. Behind your smile, a ravenous creature breathes. That thinker named it the shadow, and it's not a poetic phrase to share with inspiring captions. It's real, it bites, it governs your impulses when you pretend they don't exist. It's everything you swept under the carpet to be accepted: wrath, jealousy, greed, desire, cowardice, deceit. As a child, you learned these feelings were shameful, that admitting them was unthinkable. So you mastered the art of smiling, swallowing, repressing. But what's hidden festers, and what festers doesn't perish, thrives in the darkness. Issuing commands while you sleep. How often have you judged someone with quiet venom? How many times have you secretly wished for a friend's failure? How often have you relished malicious gossip? Do you think you're blameless? You're not, no one is. That thinker wrote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it's woven into conscious life, the darker and thicker it grows. You can deny it, insist, that's not me. But denial breeds projection. You see monsters in others because you can't face the ones within. The envy you condemn in others mirrors your own. The betrayal you dread echoes your suppressed urge to betray. The cruelty you scorn in others is the shadow of your own denied sadistic impulses. You believe you're in control, but with every flare of anger, every hasty lie, every flimsy excuse, the shadow chuckles. It loves to don the guise of virtue, convincing you you're superior to others. That illusion is its snare. The worst captive is the one unaware of their chains. You think you're free because you believe you're good, but goodness without a shadow is a myth. Those who ignore their darkness are ruled by it. The shadow manifests in the bonds you shatter, the opportunities you squander, the friendships you taint with envy masked as concern, the inertia that stalls your purpose. You say, "This is just who I am. It's not my fault," but it is. You're accountable because turning away from the shadow is a choice, and every choice carries a price. As long as you pretend it's not there, it dictates your every move. That thinker said there's only one path. Face it, smell the decay, feel the blaze, name the beast, not to destroy it, but to tame it. The shadow doesn't vanish, it must be embraced. When you accept your anger, it becomes power. When you accept your envy, it turns into constructive ambition. When you accept your desire, it becomes unburdened joy. But as long as you feign purity, you remain a prisoner, caught in a decaying cycle of denial and eruptions. If you want to end your suffering, descend to the cellar, flip on the light, and converse with the entity you feared your whole life. It's not beautiful or gentle, but it's human. Those who don't know their shadow endanger themselves and others. Those who do wield a loaded weapon but know where to point it. That thinker didn't promise tranquility, he promised wholeness. And wholeness hurts more than goodness, but it's the only road to freedom. Now, breathe, inhale the damp odor of your mental cellar. It's always been there, but today, you have the courage to step inside. I'm here in the shadows, waiting for you to confront the creature you've been quietly nourishing. What is perfection? It's merely a mask for feigning virtue. He peered into the depths of the human soul and uncovered a harsh truth. You're not truly alive. If you're still fleeing your own darkness, that's why he didn't create a therapy to patch you up. He forged a path to tear you apart. Calling an individuation isn't about becoming your best self or reciting empty motivational phrases. It's not about manifesting wealth while grinning at your reflection. It's the death of the person you think you are and the birth of who you truly are. It sounds lyrical, but it's not. It's a brutal rebirth, forcing you to confront everything you've hidden. Your ego proclaims, "I know who I am," but the psyche laughs, "You know nothing." Individuation means facing every denied fragment, integrating your shadow, reconciling opposites, admitting you're capable of love but also hatred, courage but also fear. It's about ceasing to be a fragment and becoming whole. Wholeness isn't purity, it's the bold acceptance that angels and demons coexist within you, and both deserve their place. Those who refuse this path live in constant battle with themselves. They lash out, destroy what they touch, and feel hollow, even amidst love. That thinker compared individuation to trekking through a dark forest with no trail. Each tree is a past wound, each shadow a guilt you inherited, each sound a desire you wish you never felt. You'll lose your way, you'll want to retreat, but there's no turning back once you begin to see yourself unmasked. Most give up, ignoring the forest's call, returning to the comfort of their persona, living numbly on the surface. But those who persevere cross through, finding something unstealable. Integrity is living without fear of your contradictions, gazing in the mirror without shame at the beast in your eyes, staying true to yourself even when the world demands deceit. Individuation isn't a certificate or a fixed state, it's a lifelong journey, unfolding through crises, grief, collapse, and endings that rend your flesh but free your soul. Each loss strips away a piece of the ego, making room for something authentic to grow. You don't need to hurry, but you need courage, the courage to sit still in the storm and declare, "I accept this. I accept my rage, my void, my fear of rejection, my capacity for kindness and cruelty, not to revel in it, but to stop lying to myself." This is rebirth, not a miracle, but the fruit of daily effort. Those who live this way lose the illusion of perfection but gain something greater, the freedom to be whole. It's not a path for all. Few can bear the pain of shedding the mask, but those who do will never kneel again. Breathe now. Listen to what the silence whispers. Deep within, your soul murmurs, "This is what I've always craved." That thinker understood, and now you do too. You claim you seek freedom from fear, from your past, from those who wounded you. But freedom isn't a gift, it's a price. That thinker knew most would rather stay bound than rip off their own skin. True freedom isn't about breaking rules, it's about living without inner falsehoods. As long as you pretend to be someone you're not, you dwell in a concealed prison. As long as you blame others, you remain chained to your wounds. As long as you deny your pain, you bleed in silence. Freedom doesn't spring from excuses. It begins when you choose to see what you've always hidden, when you stop pointing fingers, when you say, "This is me, unmasked." To be free, stop running. No one escapes themselves forever. Eventually, the psyche demands its due through a crisis, a breakdown, a sudden illness. It's your soul pounding on the door you've spent your life avoiding. You can ignore it many, do they? Visit doctors, take pills, practice breathing exercises, smile for photos, but inside, they're still decaying. The pain doesn't come from the world, it stems from the illusion that you're only made of light, from believing everything must be controlled. Freedom starts when you sit in the cage of your fear and stare your beast in the eyes. No excuses, no platitudes, no kids. It's brutal, lonely, and humbling for the ego, but it's the only exit. Those who open that door pay a cost. They lose their masks, their false connections, the comfort of victimhood, the illusion of control, but they gain something no one can steal: ownership of their soul. Few live this way. Most pretend, smile, attend therapy to function again, then return to their facades. That thinker didn't want you functional, he wanted you whole, free to bleed when it hurts, to scream when it's unjust, to love without seeking permission. Freedom and fear don't coexist. That's why so many trade liberty for comfortable chains, calling it stability, routine, or just who I am. But you're more than that. To become your true self, you must bury the old versions that no longer serve you. You'll need to mourn the persona you've carried for years, hear your shadows cry, and embrace every facet of who you are. On the other side, there's no idyllic paradise, just a path. You'll walk it with scarred feet, bleeding a little, but each step will be yours alone. No one else writes your story now. Breathe, feel the sharp truth slicing through your throat. It stings, but it cleanses. Now choose, return to your cage or step through the door and pay the price of claiming yourself. That thinker gave you the map. I've only guided you this far. From here, it's you and the echo of your soul, yearning to be free. You've come this far, absorbing each word like someone unearthing a forbidden truth, perhaps hoping for a quick remedy, a formula to douse the fire in your chest. I'm sorry, there's no relief without loss, no freedom without a symbolic death. You're not the same person who began this journey. That thinker didn't promise salvation, he promised awareness, and awareness is heavy. It crushes because once you know, you can't blame the world, lie to your reflection, or glide through life when it demands you dive deep. You were taught to flee pain, grab a snack when anxiety screams, binge a show when fear itches, smile, and say you're fine. You're not, but you could be if you keep descending. The psyche has no floor. The unconscious is a chasm that mocks your fear of falling. Are you ready to dig deeper, to retrieve the child you left weeping in the dark? To forgive those who hurt you and those you pretend you didn't harm? Being human is chaotic, contradictory, messy. Freedom isn't perfection, it's honesty. With your flaws, those who lie to themselves breed monsters that devour their opportunities. But those who accept themselves wholly find the courage to unlock doors sealed for generations. You carry the ghosts of your ancestors, your parents, their parents' whispers of a wounded lineage echoing in your mind. That thinker called it the collective unconscious, home to the oldest parts of you and the keys to who you could become. You might ask, how do I escape this? But who said you need to escape? You don't flee the abyss, you merge with it, sinking deep until the darkness that once broke you becomes your strength. From now on, every choice carries weight. Every relationship reveals more than you're ready to face. Every dream delivers messages your ego tries to erase. You won't sleep soundly again, and that's fine. Too much peace is numbness. Disturbance means you're alive. That thinker didn't want you happy, like a commercial, he wanted you human, and that's far deeper. Beyond the abyss, what remains is wilder, truer, more solitary, but it's a pure solitude, free of lies, a fertile silence where your soul speaks. Listen, it whispers in sleepless nights, in tears that fall unbidden, in the quiet intuition telling you who stays, who goes, and who never returns. It's too late to pretend. The labyrinth has opened, and you've seen the beast within your heart. If you want to sleep soundly again, forget this. Pretend it was just another fleeting video, a story unrelated to you. But if a spark still burns inside, welcome, you've been reborn. No one can bury someone who's learned to live with their darkness. Now that we've wandered every shadowed corridor of your mind together, breathe. Feel what lingers, buried deep in your chest. It may that's the price of waking up. That thinker wouldn't ease that pain, nor can I, but I can remind you, you're not alone. As you listened, a forgotten, broken, hungry part of you stirred. It will unsettle you, demand change, urge you to break old cycles. He didn't it with truth, silence, courage. From today, every pain is not a punishment but a sign you refuse to live asleep. That's true freedom. You could have chosen a shallow video with comforting lies, but you stayed until the end. I honor anyone brave enough to face what hurts. Let me share something personal. I, too, hid behind masks, betrayed myself, feared. The door I've now helped you open. It was lonely, but it was real. Thank you for sharing this journey. May your soul never settle for shallow crumbs again. May your shadow, now seen, no longer scream for attention. And when silence visits, may you sit with it like a trusted companion. Now, take a deep breath and show you're more than a curious bystander. Share in the comments what part of you roared loudest during this journey. Speak without fear. If you haven't subscribed, do it now, because I'll keep whispering truths few dare to voice. Share this with someone who needs it. A whisper can spark light in the darkest abyss. The choice is yours. Ignore it or dive in. I'll be here, waiting in the shadows.